this is Joe again with another review, and for the topic for this video I'm going to be discussing, yes, you Happy Days fans out there, yes, this season is fun. Review of the 4th season, and of course you could tell which episodes are going to be on this thing by just looking at the cover, which is Fonzie jumping the shark. Of course this season has 27 episodes in it, and of course if you sit through this thing straight, it's like 11 hours total. So you do it one at a time. This has 4 discs in it. And open it up, and it has four discs. There's one here. Flip it over. There's one here, and of course one here. And also it has the descriptions, the inside cover, the descriptions of the episodes on the 4, respectively, on the 4 discs. As you can see, and then close up here because of the glare from the windows here. Alright, so you get the descriptions of all the episodes. Of course, this season was just starting off with the infamous Jumping the Shark episodes. And of course, this is the well, we're not trying to jump the shark. This is titled Hollywood. Right, where Fonzie meets runs into a talent scout in Arnold's because their car broke down. So naturally, of course, he's the top mechanic in town, and the way he acted towards them in Arnold's, he said, "Oh, this guy could be the next James Dean, so let's get him a screen test." So they get him a screen test. Of course, he doesn't get spoiler. He does not get the contract. I'm not gonna say who does get it. Pretty easy to figure out if you see. Those of you who've never seen the episodes, and those who, if you get this set, you know who gets it. But of course, while they're there, Fonzie gets challenged to a race by a guy named the California Kid, and they tied. So the California Kid they found out that there was this shark that's going to be picked up, or many shark that's going to be picked up by a local aquarium. So he challenges Fonzie to jump the shark, and of course Fonzie does jump the shark, and of course Fonzie being the Fonz, he makes it, and of course he wins the challenge. But then they go back, and then of course the whole game goes back home. And the only excitement for me is that you see Joni, played by Emma Man, in a bikini. And of course in those days, which was 1977, I guess, 77, 78. I was like 6 years old, and I was like 6 or 7 years old when this season came on. And of course, I see Joey in the bikini, which of course at that time it shows you really see a kid who was I think Joey was about maybe 15 years old, maybe 16 years old at the time. Just to see one of your main characters in a bikini, which is even though in Lucy Goosey 70s, yeah, it shows like Three's Coming on the air at that time. You really see a guest star in a bikini on television, very rarely. So you see Johnny in the bikini, and so that's what it was a 3-part episode, a 3-episode story arc to start the season. Now, of course, in the first you also had of course, you had one of the famous episodes with they had Penny Ray when they started college. Of course, the one of the favorite episodes is in the first disc, is where Fonzie has a his tonsil operation, tonsillectomy. But of course, there's a mess up with the storylines, because way back in season 2. When they had the first Halloween episode back in season 2, Fonzie tells Richie that he had his tonsils taken out when he was a kid. Now all of a sudden he has his tonsils back, and he has to have them taken out. And so he's in the hospital ward with 3 other kids. and they go trick or treating inside the hospital, and then because all Fonzie got was the nurse's phone numbers. He says something like, "Hey, these are my treats," something to that effect. And of course, then he tells the three kids a ghost story. But that's the first desk. The second desk, of course, is introduces Susie Quantrill. I think that's how her last name is pronounced, as Leather Tuscadero, who was probably the sister of Pinky Tuscadero, who was introduced in the season before. The reason why Pinky Tuscadero never made a return in the Happy Days series was the fact Roz Kelly, who played Pinky, was such a pain in the behind that they said she was originally supposed to be a recurring character. They originally write 3 episodes that she was supposed to be originally to introduce a character, but then she was supposed to be like a recurring character in the series, but they decided to write her out because there was no way in the cast actor she was a pain in the butt. So they wrote her out after the 3 episodes. When they decided they didn't want to drop a recurring character storyline, so they wrote the character of Leather Tuscadero, who was supposed to be Pinky's kid sister, who was probably a singer who was in reform school for a while. She was used to steal, and she pickpocketed Fonzie at one point. And so she was in reform school for a while, and while she was in reform school, she learned how to sing, and she formed a band with Leather and the Swains. Of course, her character's name was Leather because she wore leather all the time. Leather jackets, leather pants, and she was actually a rock and roll singer. For some reason, she's bigger in Europe. She's bigger in London, in England actually. Not so big in the United States, which is a shame because she was really, really great. I mean, if you've seen this episode, or if you grew up with the series like I did, you had a crush on Leather because she was really cute. She wasn't drop dead gorgeous, but she's cute. She was very cute, and she's very, very talented as a singer and as a rock and roll star. So she had a few recurring episodes, not only this season, but also she had like 2 or 3 episodes in the next season, season 6. So they introduced her, and of course they also had an episode when they go through Hell Week with the fraternity, and Patsy and Ralph got blackballed because they weren't up to snuff, and the fraternity they were pledging to. Then they had Requiem for Ralph, where Ralph fights with this big football player in a boxing match to fight for the love of a girl. Then they had one episode. Well, the last episode of the second desk is when they had Danny Thomas playing Mr. C's father, which was a very, very good episode. I mean, he was a great cast on that episode. For those of you who don't know what Danny Thomas is, he was a great singer, actor, and great comedy star in the 50s and in the 60s, and he stars as Mr. C's father in this episode. Again, I don't think he ever made another episode after that. I don't remember him being on another episode, but he was great in this episode. And I am a big fan of Danny Thomas. I am a heavy fan of Danny Thomas, and his daughter is Marlo Thomas, from the old '70s show That Girl. When that season, the second desk, the third desk. I'm reading off the episodes here, so please excuse me from looking at the episode's descriptions here. The third desk is when Patsy falls in love with this fellow college cast. Yeah. college classmate. So he decides to pin her. Get pinned to her. Then you have one with Joey's first kiss. When she goes on a date and she gets kissed for the first time by a boy. And of course, this is also the season when Joni comes out with her own catchphrase, other than being the first character to say "sin" on it. In the third season, this is around the time when "sin" on became such a part of the catchphrase in Happy Days that the writers decided to give every character their own personal catchphrase. And of course, Dorian's catchphrase was was the first one to say Cinnamon. He said, "Oh, he's such a hunk." But no, it was her catchphrase. He's such a hunk. He said that, and of course, they had the episode with Marion's misgivings. Those you know, that's the one where she wears a belly dancer outfit. There's a friend of hers in the neighborhood left her husband for a younger guy, and Marion was afraid that was going to happen to her. And Mr. C was fascinated with watching Leather and her singing group, the Sways. So he thought he was going to be leaving. She thought that Mr. C was going to be leaving her for Leather. So she decides to seduce him by wearing a belly dancer outfit. Well, of course, in this, the third disc is the one we have one of the most powerful and episodes of, at least in this particular season, and that's the episode titled "Richie Almost Dies." Those of you who don't know that particular episode, or at least the backstory of it, the producers and writers of Happy Days got a letter from a bunch of kids who were either in foster care or living in a bad background, and they living in such a bad environment. Kids were pushed around from foster home to foster home, or the orphans, or whatever the circumstances happen to be. They live in a bad environment. And of course, they were fascinated with Happy Days because Fonzie never cries in Happy Days. He was always thinking, this tough guy, and whoa, and he beats up bullies and who was picking on his friends. He beats them up, or he acts so tough that the guys back down. You just have that. They had the writers decide, oh, let's make an episode where Fonzie cries. The episode was called Fonzie Richie buys a motorcycle, and you don't see the accident, but Fonzie was riding on a motorcycle with his girlfriend, Lori Beth, played by Linda Goodfriend, and they get into an accident, and Richie slips into a coma. And if he wasn't wearing his helmet, he would probably be dead. And of course, Fonzie, after everybody left, left Richie's hospital room. He comes back in the middle of the night and says a prayer to God for Richie. And he's crying over Richie's bed, and he apparently slept there all night. And there was a pretty powerful scene. If I got emotional, he liked that. So of course, what happens at the end? Richie wakes up from the coma, and of course, later on, a couple years later, he leaves Happy Days to direct movies. so what's going to make out of that. Of course, they had an episode with Fonzie's dog Spunky. This is only the second and last time you're going to see Spunky in the episode. It's really gets right now of the series. Then, of course, you have of course, the last episode of the third disc is when Richie tells Chachi, because Chachi was planning on joining a gang. He said, "Oh, cousin Fonzie, he was in a gang for years." Yeah, but he's not in a gang anymore. And he tells him why. And then Richie tells Chachi the backstory of how Richie and Fonzie first met. That's the third disc. The fourth disc, of course, has starts off with also, I think, one of the episodes that was the most emotional and powerful one, when Richie almost dies. That's the most powerful one. The most, other than the Jump the Shark episode. The one where Richie almost dies, the introduction of Leather Tuscadero, and of course this episode, the next episode I want to mention, or the three most famous, or the most famous episodes of the whole series. on this whole season actually, the first season. And it's called My Favorite Orchid. Of course, you know what I mean by that. It means it's the introduction of Robin Williams as Mork from Ork. And of course, this episode, of course, eventually leads to a spin-off, Mork and Mindy. And of course, there was a couple of times where Mork came back on Happy Days. And I think the next episode was they did like a flashback thing in the sixth season. But this one, he introduces himself, and he wants to take Richie back to his home planet of Orkin, so that his people could learn how to be nursing, what's the culture on Earth, and all that type of thing, a cultural exchange. So of course Richie doesn't want to go, and of course Fonzie stands protective, and they have this big showdown in Arnold's with Mork versus Fonzie, which was great. If any of you have never seen that battle between Mork and Fonzie, it was really terrific, and it was really, really funny. And of course, at one point where Fonzie tells him, "You want a rumble?" And of course, Mork does a rumba, dance the rumba, which was hysterical. And not only was so great in improvising, that every time they go to rehearsal, he was saying a different line or doing a different thing. That was originally written in the script. So eventually, they just let him go and let him do what he wanted in the episode, which annoyed the cast because he didn't know what he was going to do next. But that became one of the most popular episodes in the series. Of course, in the other episodes that they had was last actual episode. The last actual episode of the season was when Howard, or Mr. C, and Fonzie got on jury duty, and they ended up getting the same case. And the case was they had this purse snatcher. And of course, all the 11 jurors, and Mr. C was of course made the foreman. And of course, all the 12 jurors says, "Oh, let's convict this guy." And of course, they said guilty, and Mr. C was kind of votes guilty, 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 and they had 11 guilties. And of course, after Mr. C read the 11 guilties, he of course gets the one vote and says "not guilty Amundo," because we don't know who voted that vote, and that was Fonzie. And of course, there's one guy who on the jury who wants to just convict the guy and go home. We don't know he snatched this lady's purse. And finally says, no, something ain't right. And he says, well, and Mr. C's trying, because since he knows Fonzie so well, he's just trying to figure out what Fonzie was thinking, trying to understand where was Fonzie trying to get at, what makes him think that this guy was innocent. And he says, let's look at the court transcripts of the trial. He says, okay, so going through the court transcripts of the trial, he said, now I found what it is. And so finally did a demonstration that the purse snatcher could not physically snatch the purse or hold the purse up with one hand, because the particular motorcycle that the defendant has an accelerator on a different handle than they are on American motorcycles. He had like a foreign-made motorcycle, and they had an accelerator on the same hand that he was holding with the purse, so he can't make his motorcycle go faster and hold the purse up in the same hand. Can't do it. It's impossible with this motorcycle. So he couldn't do it. This guy couldn't do it, and of course, this one guy who wanted to convict him, that's because he thought he was guilty, and the real reason was because the defendant was black. So, you gotta have a racist guy who wants to convict all black guys, type thing. But of course, the last episode, instead of putting this, the problem they have with these DVDs is that they had an anniversary show for the third season, the fourth season, and the third season. They had like a flashback episode. An anniversary show is running like flashback to previous episodes. I think after this season, after the next season, it stopped that for a while. But I think after the sixth season they stopped it. But the first few seasons they had like a flashback episode in season 3, season 4, season 5, and season 6. When the series became hugely popular and got huge ratings on television. So they had like a flashback episode so people could see previous episodes in case they had ever going to syndication at the time. Nobody ever thought of going to DVDs to have it going on in syndication. So they had that, and so they decided to what the hell go and do a flashback episode. But instead of putting the flashback episode where it was usually these episodes or programmed as they originally aired on television, except of course for the anniversary episode, which was part of the regular series, the regular schedule. It wasn't really. It aired at the same time slot as the series, so I don't know why they couldn't put it in on the original spot. So the episode, all the episodes, even the special one, on the anniversary episode, would be in the right order. I don't know why, but they put that one on last as called the special feature. They call it a special feature. They didn't call it like a regular episode, which it was. The fourth anniversary special, which Lori Beth starring the Cunninghams about their middle class family life. So they show them in flashbacks. So that's the first season of Happy Days. And of course, the reason we're going to get into, and here's the the back cover. Of course, it says more. You have Marion in the Mr. C outfit. Of course, they have Richie, Potsy, and Ralph, and planning for fraternity on this. The reason why, of course, you notice somebody who was not on the cover of the first season, which is Joni, or Erin Moran's character. And I think I know my own personal conspiracy theory on that, which is the reason why the season 5 took so long. I want to get into more detail now. The reason why season 5 took so long to come out is the fact that back in 2008, when season 4 came out, around the same time the season 4 came out, Erin Moran, who was Joni, who was pretty much destitute, unfortunately, she sued Paramount, Viacom, who owns the rights to the series, along with CBS, who owns the copyrights of the for the DVDs, because they bought Viacom and originally bought out Paramount. Because they used her along with most of the cast, except for Ron Howard and Henry Winkler. The rest of the entire cast, along with the family of Tom Bothy, because he's since passed away a couple of years ago, they all sued because, one for the royalties for the DVDs, because they don't have it in the contract, because no one knew back in the 70s there's going to be something called DVDs. They didn't even know anything about videotapes, to release the episodes of videotape so the fans of the shows could buy the favorite episodes or whatever, even in the 70s when the show came out. So what they did was they used, as you see here on the cover, they used pictures, stills of episodes of the cast. So Erin Moran, who played Joni in the series, she sued. And then eventually the rest of the cast, and Marion Ross, who of course played Mrs. C, Donnie Most, who played Ralph, Aaron Williams, Anson Williams, who played Potsy, he joined the lawsuit. because I think Scott Baio joined it. I think Scott Baio did eventually join it. And of course, in the widow of Tom Bosley, of course, played Mr. C, joined in a lawsuit, and it took him, I think, like 4 or 5 years to sell it. And last year they did sell it in 2013. Or early last year, or sometime last year, late last year, or early this year, in 2014. They settled the lawsuit. So okay, great. They settled the lawsuit last year. So, okay, great. Now when will season 5 come out? And eventually came out this year, May 20th, 2014. 5 days before my father's birthday. Actually, that's when the season came out. And of course, when I found out, when I looked online, the episodes sequence, I found out that this was going to be the season when they had the Jump the Shark episodes. Of course, with the Jump the Shark, well, the Jump the Shark actually became like a fantasy or myth or legend that came out, because a lot of the Die Hard, and I consider myself a Die Hard Happy Days fan. A lot of people thought that after the episode 3 of season 5, where Fonzie actually does physically jump over the shark, actually stuntman. Big surprise, it's a stuntman. I thought it was really Henry Winkler who did it. But many Happy Days fans thought that the episodes died down, or the season died after that. Well, this was the first season of the series. I mean, come on. The series was on for 5. This is the first season of the series. The show has been on since 1974. So of course, after about 4 or 5 years, of course you're going to have some downhill of the show, because Richie, Patsy, and Ralph were the 3 main teenagers. We're not teenagers anymore. I don't think they were even teenagers when the show even started, to tell you the truth. But they were not in high school anymore. They were not in college. Now they don't have high school problems, and they have college problems, which has been introduced so many episodes, like turning into a fraternity and all that, problems. Or the episode where Patty gets pinned. You have all those type of issues. And of course, we're getting too old for Fonzie to defend him all the time, even though he still does that. But so of course, naturally, Johnny was going up to about 15 characters, about 15 this season. He's becoming a little bit sexier, because he showed a lot more skin. Like I said, she was in a bikini in one episode when they were in California. And of course, there was another episode when they introduced Leather. One of the 2 backup singers that they had dropped out. So Joni took her place, and she was wearing that the outfit, and the outfit was very revealing. And so you see Joni's body in this one, and of course, me being a kid at that time, I said, "Wow, look at Joni! Wow, And of course, any heterosexual kid or heterosexual teenager will like seeing Joni in the bikini and in the outfit for a suede singer. So that Star Wars, Happy Days fans thought that the series died after that. But how can you say that it did not have any good episodes after Fonzie jumped the shark? Like I mentioned, the episode where Richie almost died, the episode where Leather when Leather Tuscadero was introduced, the episode with Mark, the episode with Danny Thomas in it, and of course the 6th season when you had other good episodes with Leather. One on season 6, they're going to have there's an episode where Leather goes on like American Bandstand ripoff, and the House Band on that show steals one of Leather's songs. And of course, another episode with Leather where she goes on a date with Ralph. I thought that was a pretty good episode. It wasn't the greatest episode of the series, but I thought it had a good story, good beginning, middle, and end in that episode. I think that was the last episode you saw Leather in. You had Of course, another episode I think in season 6 of that season with Ron Howard and Donnie Most was in it. Was when the episode where Arnold's ex burns down, which was a very very good episode. Another episode where Richie, Patsy, and Ralph go out with their dates to a frat party, and the bartender spikes Richie's drink. Richie goes nuts, and of course everybody gets mad at Richie for the way he acted in the party. But Richie doesn't remember what happened, and then they figured out that his drink was spiked. So finally he confronts the guy who spiked his drink, and he says, "Why did you spike his drink for?" "Oh, because I thought it would be funny." "Oh, that's no big deal, that's low." And he was about to mention the drug he used, and finally cut him off because I guess he didn't want to spite other kids to do, or other college kids to do the same thing, or use the same drug or whatever. I thought that was a powerful episode. Of course, the episodes when Richie and Patsy left. That's for me. Happy Days did not die or fall off when finally dropped the shark. For me, it ended when Ron Howard decided to leave the show to go and make movies for a living, or direct movies for a living. To me, that's when the show died. Then when finally dropped the shark, because that's when the series got stupid. It was when not only when Richie left, but also when Ralph also left at the same time. I mean, it did come back for a couple of episodes. Like a couple of years later, they came back on the show. But for the while they were off the show, that's when the show was terrible. When Ron Howard and Don Most was off the show. That's when the show died for me. Not when finally jumped the shark. And they use the term "jump the shark" when they have a television series or a movie franchise that went past the point of no return, and nobody cared about the series anymore, the movie series or television series anymore. So they use the term "jump the shark" for that moment, and not for because now people thought that Happy Days died after finally dropped the shark, went downhill when finally dropped the shark. That's why all of the television shows, all the other movies use that term when they have, especially a long running series, jump the shark. They use the term "jump the shark," even though it wasn't right, because the Happy Days lasted about 6 years after that. So that's my review of Happy Days Season 5. Please pick up your own copy of this season. For me, it was fun to get it because I went to 3 different Best Buy stores the week it came out, and I couldn't get it. I had to get this damn thing online. Thank you, Best Buy, you pieces, you jerks, for not ordering enough copies. You're going to have it in the damn store, so I won't have to order it online, you jerks. Please like the video. Please comment on. Please subscribe to my channel. Please forward this video onto your Facebook pages. Thanks for watching.